Recording in progress.
That lady's
It's a little
voice.
reminder out every time.
Hmm.
All right, so we're back. Episode, what is this, 53?
Hello. Yes, it does.
Oh my God.
That's so many
It's so
episodes.
weird to say out loud. Like anything over 50,
Hmm.
I'm like, how did we get here?
Right? And it doesn't even feel like it's been that long.
It doesn't.
It's
But
like
then again, it's been what,
a
two and
year?
a half
Two
years?
it
If we
two and
think
a
about
half
when we first started,
we don't we're ignoring the fact that we have recorded the first episode like a year
a
before we
year.
actually started. So bad.
True, I know. If you're new here, definitely go back and listen to what was it? Episode one or was it the second
Hmm.
one where we talked about it, about our like year-long
Oh,
hiatus? Oh, well,
episode
obviously the second
two.
one.
Yeah, like I
Yeah,
had a whole ass other job by the time I was like episode
I
two. I'm like,
know.
dang, dude.
Well, we're in the 50s now, and it's like I'm
Hmm.
in a whole new space too.
True.
hmm
Changes.
I know. New job, new school, new house, new town, all new. It's so weird, but I'm getting used to it. I'm like figuring out the area little by little.
That's good.
But yeah, that's what's been up with me. What's up with you?
A lot of summer break. I'm on break from my job. I start first week of August again. Like it finally goes
Oh,
over.
okay, okay. What are we on? Oh, so like what, 2 weeks?
2 weeks-ish, yeah. Dude, it's
Nice.
felt like the longest summer ever. Because it's like,
I
well, what do I
know.
do now?
I know. And I didn't even realize like um we coincidentally had like this long break together, but I forgot because of your job and I was just like unemployed. So we just both had like nothing to do.
Hmm. Just chilling
You know
about.
what? At least we're good. We've been putting out episodes, so we're good. We're on track.
Hmm.
We're okay.
Yes. Our last episode just released. Go check it out. Haunted Dolls.
Really creepy stuff. I almost
Silly
forgot what we
stuff.
talked about too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the episode title as soon as it went up and I was like, what the fuck did we talk about? Completely forgot. But no, it was a good one. I think it was a good one.
Mm.
Go check it out, guys. Episode
Yeah.
52.
Dude, I'm so annoyed though, because the post, I schedule the Instagram post. Well, I schedule all the posts. But
hmm
like I scheduled it, it was all good. I lined everything up all nice. And then when it posts, it like misaligned everything. So it just like if it looks like weird crop, like of certain pictures,
Oh,
it just moved itself. And I hate that it's done that to me before. And I'm just like, why? Why does it just like, yeah, all that work? We're just gonna reset it. We're gonna pick.
yeah.
I'm like, dude,
Yeah. That's happened to
very
me before. It's
frustrating.
annoying.
Hmm.
I wonder if you could go in there and edit like the crop or no,
I think you can only edit the
like
caption.
adding or yeah,
Or
or removing a
adding
picture.
tags
Can
and
you
stuff
add?
too.
Oh. I thought you meant like
Tags.
add a
Yeah.
picture,
No. I think you can like I don't know if
remove
you
a
can even
picture.
yeah, can you?
Yeah,
Oh, nice. So
I
yeah,
learned.
I'll double check, but nice.
There were some posts that I wanted to keep up but didn't want certain pictures up there. So I was like,
Mm,
delete.
nice. But
Ah,
yeah,
are you ready
like
for this episode? For this episode?
yes, but one quick fun fact about the Instagram post since it moved it, the title picture of Mandy's eBay listing, I had it
Mm-hmm.
moved up because apparently someone put her in their cart. It's like in one person's cart right now, and it was not
Shut
me, I
up.
promise.
You're
So,
like, it was me. Well, how much was it? Was it a $2,000 doll or
yeah,
something
it's
like
like
that?
2,600 or something like that.
So crazy. Like,
I just
who
like
in the
pull her
world?
up, like, look at my new doll.
You're like, so
Horrible.
fun fact, she's here with me.
I'm not even gonna pick her up. I'm just gonna move her into frame so it looks like she moved on her own.
God.
I would not. I would
Oh,
not own
so
a haunted
crazy.
doll. No, thank you.
No, thank you. Dude, I have had the weirdest like dreams, but they're almost like they're just so buried in my brain. So little things here and there will remind me of like, this sounds so familiar, but I can't quite
Mm.
put my finger on it. Like, I'm pretty sure I had a dream about dolls recently, and I
Ooh.
can't remember what it was. And then there was like that airport thing that just
Oh
happened
yeah, the
that
whole
I had a dream
blackout.
about. Yeah. And like, I mean, I've been off social media and like news and all that stuff for I don't even know how long because I don't really go on anymore. Um, so when I opened up the app, that was the first thing that was on there. And I was like, hold on, like I literally just had a dream about this. And I'm like, when did this happen? It was so weird. It was
That's
crazy.
weird. No,
Yeah.
I've been having a lot of deja vu moments where I'm like, I think I've done this before. So
Yeah.
a
I wonder if there's
lot.
something going on in El Universo.
Yeah, I know witchy TikTok is being like, guys, I think we shifted universes again. But they're claiming that it's for the better. Like we moved to a slightly more positive timeline according to them. And I'm like, well, I hope so,
I hope
because
so. Yeah. I
Jesus.
mean, ever since the, what was it, the eclipse, right?
Hmm.
Was it an eclipse?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, ever since then, everything's felt like a shift. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is, or maybe it's just like the energy, the vibes since then have been good.
Is it the rain has no, I'm just kidding.
Seriously, though, I'm excited to hear yours.
I'm excited to hear yours, or curious now that I got a little spoiler.
Oh yeah, dude, that was totally by mistake. I put it, okay, so I came across a website and I copied the picture and was like, okay, let me just put it on the text messages to Celeste so I don't forget to send it like I always do. Um, and that was like earlier in the day. And then completely forgot about it. And I started texting you. And when I sent the message, I saw the big picture pop up and I'm like, oh, I wasn't supposed to send that. I'm like, what the heck?
To be
Oopsies.
fair, it only gave me context of like maybe a region, but not really what exactly it would be. So I still
Okay.
have no
I
idea
don't
what
think
the heck you're doing.
there wasn't any text in it, right? It was just the
No, it's just
picture.
the picture.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, where do you think the region is?
I looked like some sort of Latin American, maybe just Mexican, possibly.
No.
It, I don't know. I think it was the
Although I
hat
can, oh yeah, yeah.
because
No,
it
I can see how you would think that.
the image looks very reminiscent of mariachi somehow. At least to
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
No, yeah. I thought the same thing too. But no, it's Caribbean.
Oh,
Hmm.
interesting. I would not have thought that. I'm like, actually, I'm gonna pull up the image now for the viewers at the very least, because I'm like,
Yes.
they're just like gatekeep.
What are
No,
we talking about?
this image
Yeah,
right here.
with a big old hat.
Biggest hat, almost as big as your hat that one time in Vegas. Yeah,
Oh, my
big
big
old
sun
hat.
hat. Protect myself from all the sun.
Yes, because you are
Oh
but a
my God.
vampire.
Yes, dude. Oh my God. The heat here has been unreal, like
Yeah.
for weeks. I think we hit like 117 or something like that the other day.
Ooh,
It
that's so
is
much.
disgusting. And like just walking from my car to the grocery store,
Ooh.
I could hear my skin sizzling. I was like,
Ew.
ah! Like I couldn't get inside the store fast enough. It felt
That's so
so
bad.
gross. Ugh. I mean, I hate just the feeling of the sun
Mm-hmm.
touching my skin, but this is extra, extra. Like, ugh, I don't know how to explain it.
Mm-mm.
It did not feel good. Um, so everyone who is like, oh my God, the sunshine, I'm like, literally shut the fuck up. I hate it.
No. It's
I
like,
hate it
yeah,
so
the
much.
sunshine for the people whose states are in the 80s or something. I mean,
Hmm.
for us, it hasn't been too bad, like 90s,
Yeah.
but I mean, not too bad compared to 100 and what, 13, 16. Like,
Yeah. I
no,
don't know how
that's
hot
bad.
it's gonna be today. I know we like cooled down for like a little bit to like 96. And
Cool
that was the
down to
first, yeah, that
96.
was the first time I have ever been happy to see 96 on the on the
Oh my
weather.
gosh.
Like
You're like, yay, not 3 digits. Oh,
literally,
yeah,
it's
like
been horrible.
our high today is 93.
I'm so jealous. When
That's
have
so
you
bad.
ever, when, God, did you think I would
Hmm.
ever say something like that ever? Let me see. I'm
Right?
curious.
Not unless you move to
Yeah.
like Arizona or something.
Let's see. Right now it is 77. Oh, today we're going to be at 96.
Oh, look.
But then let's see. Oh, we're going to cool down next week.
All
What is that?
right.
Let me see. Yeah, next Saturday is going to be the coolest it's been in like since I got here.
Damn.
84 degrees.
Oh.
Yeah. So still warm, but finally below the 90s. Yeah, it's 96, 106, 108, 103, 101,
Oh my
91,
gosh.
then 84. So that's my
Jeez.
weekly forecast.
Horrible.
Yeah, the worst.
Ours are
But
all 93s, 94s.
a little jealous. When would I ever have thought I'd be jealous of 90s? I want to cry. It's okay.
RIP.
I know.
Lizzie of heat exhaustion.
For real. I'm gonna try to stay indoors as much as I can.
Fair.
It's not good. It's not good. But anyway, I know I spoiled it a little bit, but do you want to start?
hmm sure, I can start. Mine is
Okay.
kind of gross. And
Ooh,
I went in the manner of air rods where I just saw a name, thought it was weird, never heard of it. Turns out it's more of a I would call it a phenomenon than it
okay.
is a cryptid, but they considered it a cryptid, so I'll take it. So I'm going to
Ooh,
be talking about star jelly. What a cute
star
name.
jelly.
Yes. Cute name for
Interesting.
something that looks like boogers. But
Gross.
but anyways, it's also called astromycin astral jelly, star rot, or star shot. I would call it star snot because it's gross. But
Yeah. I don't like star shot either.
mm,
It
it
sounds
just
like something else.
I'm glad they kept Star Jelly because that's like the cutest name. Like that sounds like,
Yeah.
oh, it's cute. It sounds like
It
a
sounds like
dessert.
something kids would play with.
Or yeah, like slime or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Ugh.
so it's a gelatinous substance, sometimes found on grass or even on branches of trees. According to folklore, it falls onto the earth during meteor showers. It's described
Okay.
as a translucent or grayish white gelatin, though other people have said other colors, so I guess it varies. That tends to evaporate shortly after having fallen. Reports of the substance date back to the 14th century and have continued to the present day. So lots of reports of it. And let's see, I have now it's just a ton of different stories of people who have discovered this gross stuff in their yard.
Yeah.
So
That's
the f-
interesting.
hmm the first one I have is John of Gaddesden. Mind you, this is like 1200s. He
What?
mentions, yeah, like way back in the day, this man mentions Stella Terrae, which is Latin for star of the earth or earth star, in his
Okay.
medical writings, describing it as a certain mucilaginous substance lying upon the earth and suggesting that it might be used to treat abscesses. It's
Ew.
He's like, hey, look at this weird stuff I found on the floor. We should just put it on infected wounds, you know?
Yeah. Just
That
imagine like kind of like spreading jams.
right? Like maybe he
Oh no. Hold
thought,
on.
oh, it's keeping its shape.
My little makeshift stand is
Oh
falling. Hold
no.
on. Give me a second. No. Oh no. Okay. That's fine.
But yeah, so maybe he saw it like be a little more solid. So he's like, oh, I could just like push it up in there and no bad stuff will come in. I don't know.
Ew.
That's all
And
I
then they
have of
became
that.
aliens, and that's why we have Superman.
That's when the
Can you
X-Men were
imagine?
born.
Oh God. That'd
But
be
yeah.
interesting. Jesus Christ.
Oh,
What is going on here?
I'm falling
Right.
again.
I know. You're falling? I'm falling. Okay. We're
All right.
good. I think that should be good. I don't think it's going to move anymore.
Okay. There's there's also a 14th century Latin medical glossary that has an entry for Uligo described as a certain fatty substance emitted from the earth that is commonly called a star which has fallen. So like it's been around. I don't know
Interesting.
why they called it Uligo, but sure. There's also an English Latin dictionary from around 1440 that has an entry for slime. In Welsh, it was referred to as powder sere, meaning rot from the stars. So the Welsh are the ones calling it star rot.
Mm,
But yeah, so now like stories. On November 11th, 1846, a luminous object estimated at 4 feet in diameter, so big, fell
yeah.
at Lowville, New York, leaving behind a pile of awful smelling luminous jelly that disappeared quickly. And that's according to Scientific American. So just
Mm,
a 4 foot ball of smelly slime fell in New York randomly one day.
gross.
I would not want to be there for that. And that's all we
It's
hear
like,
of that story.
did it fall as people were just like minding their own business, taking their walk? Mm, I, I,
Pretty much.
I don't even know. At that point, I would just call it like sky snot or something like that.
Right? Like I could see why they're calling it like, oh, it's of the stars because it just keeps falling
Yeah,
from the sky. But
that's
yeah.
so weird.
And then, mind you, that's like the 1800s. It's not like, oh, some weird stuff from a plane fell out of the sky. Like, there
Yeah.
are no planes. All right. I
Are there?
assume
Yeah.
not. I don't think so.
1800s? Probably not.
1846, probably not. I am
Oh.
not a historian. Don't come at me.
We are not historians. We are not geographers. Just
Right.
adding to the list what we aren't.
That's so funny. But yeah, so in 1950, four Philadelphia, Pennsylvania policemen reported a discovery of a domed disc of quivering jelly, 6 feet in diameter, 1 foot thick at the center, and an inch or two near the edge. So it was just this big, just domed jelly thing. When they
Interesting.
when they tried to pick it up, it dissolved into an odorless, sticky scum. And this
What?
incident inspired the movie The Blob. Fun fact.
Okay.
Because it was just
Interesting.
they're like, it's a blob. And it
Yeah.
fell. So I guess they were just like, what if it like
Wait.
attacked?
Have you ever seen Monsters versus Aliens?
Yes.
It reminds me of that big, what's his name,
Hmm.
Bob or something like that? The just jelly thing.
Yes. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure he's inspired by the blob. So I
Okay.
assume very similar origin story. But
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
So they were just like, what if this blob, instead of just disintegrating, became alive and killed us all? And then they made a movie about it.
Interesting.
So then we have another story. On August 11th, 1979, Mrs. Sybil Christian of Frisco, Texas, reported the discovery of several purple blobs of goo on her front yard following a meteor shower, a Perseid meteor shower to be specific, I guess. So this one really was after a meteor shower.
Hmm.
She described them as looking like smooth whipped cream, only purple.
What?
Yeah, so the weird
Ah!
textures. What?
Oh my God.
That's so
Hold,
funny.
please.
It's like
Elevator
trolling
music.
you at this point.
I know. I like how it was like completely still, like for the longest. And I had it propped up here before we recorded, just so I can be sure that it wouldn't
Hmm.
move. And I was like, nope. Okay.
It literally looked like you just like whoop turned it. So that was weird. But yeah, so the blobs, which were about the size of a telephone and weighed a couple pounds apiece, were warm to the touch and contained small chunks of lead. So not
Mm,
healthy blobs, not that any
yeah.
were. One melted away on the lawn, but police took the remaining two to the Hurd National Space Museum nearby, and eventually one ended up at NASA. A follow-up
Ooh.
investigation by reporters and an assistant director of the Fort Worth Museum of Science and History discovered a battery processing plant outside of town where caustic soda was used to clean impurities from the lead in the batteries, which they're saying caused the purple byproduct. So they're saying, oh no, there's a battery plant nearby, and
Hmm.
these blobs came from that. But
Hmm.
people kind of didn't believe them. Like they were just like, "Are you sure?" Because I guess
Yeah,
like the compounds they used were just solid material, but this stuff was jelly-like. So they're like, "This doesn't look like the stuff you're saying it is over there." So people were
I
like,
see.
you know,
Hmm.
and and Mrs. Christian, I guess they're saying it's possible that it was because she tried to hose them away, like with water. So they're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's because you sprayed them with water, but then people still don't believe it.
Yeah, like
So that
how would
one's
the
like,
water affect the color? I
yeah.
mean, I
So,
don't know.
so yeah, that one's a mystery. And then we also have in December 1983, grayish white oily gelatin fell on North Reading, Massachusetts. Thomas Grindley reported finding it on his lawn, on the streets and sidewalks, dripping from gas station pumps. So
Ew.
it literally it looked like it just had rained like oily jello.
Ew.
Disgusting. But
Yeah.
yeah. And one of the bigger ones I have, in August of 1994, a resident of Oakville, a small city in Washington, reported translucent gelatinous blobs, each about half the size of a rice grain, so very, very small, covering the
Hmm.
ground. She said that they had rained down during the night and believed that they may have caused her and her mother to develop flu-like symptoms.
Hmm.
Over the next 3 weeks, there were another 5 reports in the local area of these little blobs, with several people claiming that they had gotten sick as a result of contact with them. So people were getting sick from these blobs.
Interesting. So I wonder if it's like, I mean, it's the same as what do you call it? When there's the crop circles or whatever, and like people
Mm,
who come near them like get exposed to like who knows what kind of stuff.
yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm
it's
talking
weird.
about? I'm like, I know
Like
I don't know the
radiation,
specifics.
probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Yes.
yeah, they were they were getting sick too. Apparently flu-like symptoms.
Interesting.
But yeah, so a microbiologist at Washington State found that the blobs contain 2 species of bacteria, although there was no suggestion that the bacteria were harmful. That's what they say, but
Hmm.
I believe I have something in here about which chemicals they were. So I'll get back to
Oh.
that part. But either way, it was featured in a 1995 episode of Unsolved Mysteries. So that's fun. A National Geographic video called Mystery Goo Rain comes they have a conspiracy theory using an interview with microbiologist Mike McDowell, who says he tested the substance and speculated that it was a matrix containing, and I am also not a scientist, nor am I a microbiologist, so excuse my pronunciation. Uh, Pseudomonas fluorescens, which is a rod-shaped bacterium that has enzymes that cause milk to spoil, can cause blood transfusions to be tainted, and has been found useful in treating skin, ear, and eye disorders. So in case you're wondering what that bacteria did, it's
What
like
was it called again?
Pseudomonas fluorescens.
Hmm. I'll keep a lookout for that.
But yeah,
Like I'll ever
so
need it.
you're like, yes, I will hunt it down. I will make my own medicine out of it. Thank you very
Hmm.
much. But yeah,
Cure my ear, nose, and what did you say? Ear, nose. No, ear, nose,
mm.
ear. Yeah.
Skin, ear, and eye.
Oh, skin, ear, and eye.
There you go.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's like I guess you can use it for good, but it also does bad. So, but they also
Okay.
found Enterobacter cloacae, another bacterium that is a member of the normal gut flora of many humans and is not usually a primary pathogen. Some strains have been associated with like urinary tract and respiratory tract infections in immunocompromised individuals. So it's like this one is commonly already found in your system. for at least a lot of
Okay.
people, but it can also cause problems. But yeah.
Hmm.
Uh but yeah, the scientist guy was saying like, yeah, I found these bacteria in said slime, which could have been what caused people to get sick from it.
Hmm.
In the video, McDowell claims that the sample went missing, and when he asked management what happened to it, he was told, "Don't ask." So they just
Okay.
took away his sample and they're like, don't worry about it. Leading
Wow.
him to believe this material was manufactured by someone on purpose and that the town was chosen as a test site, was his theory. I'm like, damn,
Mm.
dog. Here I was thinking he was gonna say like aliens, and he's like, no, the
Yeah.
government did it on purpose. And I'm like, damn,
If
okay.
I'm being honest, I would believe aliens over the government on this one.
Right? I don't know. Like, I guess he's like, well, they're, chemical warfare and all that stuff. But
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, when was this? This was
But that was
1994?
94.
1990?
So it was
I mean,
94.
uh,
I'm like, there
mm,
weren't really any wars going. We're not historians, remember? So
when
I
I
don't think there were any wars going on at the
listen, I think I mean, there was probably
You
some
don't
war
know.
somewhere, but at least for us, I'm pretty sure World War II was already over. It
Oh, a
ended,
long
what,
time ago.
70, 45, 45, 1945,
40 something, yes.
40 something. Yeah, not a
Yeah.
historian, but I can somewhat remember. It was the 40s,
It
maybe
ended
the
in the
50s.
90s, right?
It actually ended the day I was born. I brought peace on earth because I'm a Libra, you
Wow.
know,
Yeah, I thought you were gonna
harmony and
say you were
balance.
Jesus, but sure.
I wouldn't go that far.
My
Oh my
goodness.
God.
So
Um,
anyways, slime.
anywho.
But yeah, in 1997, a similar substance fell in the Everett, Washington area. On the evening of November 3rd, 1996, a meteor was reported flashing across the sky of Kempton, Australia, just outside of
Australia.
Hobart. So yeah, it's just like more and more just showing up. The next morning, white translucent slime was reportedly discovered on lawns and sidewalks of the town. So they're just all
Mm.
over the world. Star jelly was found on various Scottish hills on the autumn of 2009. So
Oh,
we're
getting
getting up
closer
here
and
in
closer.
time. Star jelly was found on the fells around Ullswater in the Lake District in October 2011. I believe that's still Scotland. Blue balls of jelly rained down on a man's garden in Dorset in January 2012. Upon further analysis, these proved to be sodium polyacrylate granules, a kind of superabsorbent polymer with a variety of common uses. So
Hmm.
that one actually proved to be, I guess, like a farm material, and they were most likely
Oh.
already present on the ground in their dehydrated state and had gone unnoticed until they soaked up water from the hail shower and grew in size. So that one, they're just like,
Hmm.
no, it was like a regular schmegular fertilizer that turns to jelly.
It was just like a weird, what do they call that when it's
Like a chemical
hmm.
reaction or something.
Yes, I think oh my God, what am I'm thinking of a word and it's gonna come to me later, I'm sure. I just can't remember it. It's
Interesting. You're just gonna yell it
ew.
in the middle of you talking about it.
No, seriously. I think the word that I'm thinking of, it's like when you take two medicines that you're not supposed to take together because it
Mm.
has whatever that word is.
Yeah, I wouldn't know about
Whatever.
that one.
No,
But
it's fine.
yeah. And then several deposits were discovered at the Ham Wall Nature Reserve in England in February of 2013. It has been suggested that these are unfertilized frog spawn, which apparently certain frogs lay large clumps of jelly eggs, so they can look very
Hmm.
much like slime. But contrary to some reports, the substance has yet to be identified. So they're like, oh no, it was frog eggs. But then they're like, those are clearly not frog eggs. So they don't know what they are.
Listen here, you're not a scientist. I am telling you, these are no frog
Exactly.
eggs.
These are no frog eggs. And then last one before I the time runs out. It is called caca de luna or moon's excrement by the locals in the state of Veracruz in Mexico.
What the hell?
So,
Okay.
moon poop.
Yep. Moon poop.
Moon poop. I'm like, leave it to the Mexicans. We're Mexicans, we can
Seriously.
say that.
Yeah.
But
That's what
yeah,
we are. We are Mexicans.
I thought we are caca de luna. No, just kidding. Ew.
No, thank you. I'll take a pass on that one. No
Yeah,
thanks.
no, thank you. I prefer star jelly still. Like these names are just
Yeah.
getting grosser and grosser.
Yeah.
But yeah, on that note, I'm gonna end the meeting or stop recording for that. Okay, we're back.
Okay.
Round two.
Jeez.
Side
We're a mess.
note, I made a coffee during that break.
Good. I know. I know I'm thirsty, but I need the coffee today.
A
And
lot
yeah,
of
this is
coffee.
filled with coffee. I told Celeste earlier, but I'm telling you guys now, I need a coffee. So this big
Oh,
glorious thing is full of coffee.
I had, oh, what am I thinking? SpongeBob, what is it? This is an extreme thirst. And he like grabs the
Oh
giant.
my God. Yeah.
That's what that cup reminds me of.
That's funny. It's a big cup.
Big cup. But so anyways, yeah, so it's moon poop, um, meteor poop, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, a long
Star jelly for
article,
sure.
yes, a long article in the paranormal magazine Fate declared star jelly to be of extraterrestrial origin, calling it cellular organic matter, which exists as pre-stellar molecular clouds which float through space. So like a big cloud of whatever, and then it hits the atmosphere and it like jellifies and gets on everything and drips off gas
So
pumps.
weird. Nasty.
That's their thought at least, which I'm like, it would explain why it comes with like the meteor showers then too, because if it's just like a bunch of
Yeah.
debris, maybe. I don't
Yes.
know. It's
And I had
funky.
to show us the pictures because
Oh,
that part was
that's
cut out too.
right. Yes,
Sorry.
technical difficulties. It's
Technical
okay.
issue.
What else is new? That's
Seriously.
also been a part of this whole weird deja vu situation. A lot of technical failures, like the whole airport thing. It's
Yeah,
a bunch of
it's
stuff just
crazy.
messing around. But yeah, so like some funky little bits of stuff all over the place. Gross textures. This one's my least favorite, but favorite because it's so snotty looking.
Yeah, gross.
And there's
Oh,
like,
you know what it looks like? Um, it reminds me of Shrek. You know when they splatter mud? How it
oh,
has
I
like
could
that
say
shape?
that. Yeah, like
Yeah.
the blobbiness, and then there's like
Yeah.
the funky like gross white
Weird.
bits, and then the rubbery guy. Like it comes in all different shapes and sizes.
Mm,
I hate it.
seriously.
But yeah, and then like there's like funky stuff. Like that just looks like I don't know. I don't know what it looks like. I don't want to know. It does look like poop a little bit, I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
Gross.
As much as I don't want, like, I think it looks really gross, but I want to see it now.
You're like, I kind of want to touch it.
Yeah, a
Like
little
poke it
bit,
with
but at the same time,
I would love to poke it with a stick.
yes. You're just like poking
See
at
it
it.
move. Gross.
It's all jiggling every time you touch it.
All I picture is it being like a nice day out, and you're just like, oh, I'm gonna go out, walk in the grass with my coffee, but you're barefoot because the grass is nice, and then you step
Ew.
on it, and you're just like, what the fuck is
No.
this?
And then you have health problems and then
Oh
you die.
no.
I'm just kidding.
Then I was gonna say then they have to amputate your foot. Yeah, and then it's like, oh, the whole foot's gotta go. You stepped in moon poop. Sorry, guy.
Disgusting.
So,
Unfortunate.
it's like when you're barefoot and you like step on a bug. Ugh, I
Uh,
hate that. I don't think
uh-uh.
that's actually happened to me, but I know of sisters who have done that.
You know what? I would have preferred stepping on a bug than stepping on a freaking nail.
Oh,
Hmm.
no. That
That scared me
also.
so bad when I was a
Mhm.
kid. I literally stepped on a rusty nail and it went through and through, like from the bottom
Oh,
out to the top. It was the most disgusting thing.
gross.
And I stared at it for the longest time because I didn't know what to do. And I
Hmm.
was like, it didn't hurt, surprisingly.
Weird.
But I was like freaking out. And then I knew my mom was going to yell at me because she's always like, no salgas casa.
Hmm. Hmm.
But, I was like a kid. I was probably like Jacqueline's age now, like 8, maybe
Mm.
9.
Damn.
Um, and I remembered all I kept thinking about was like, oh no, you know what? I was probably like in 5th grade because we had talked about like just rusty materials if they like scratch you or something.
Oh,
Like,
like tetanus type stuff?
yeah, we had just learned about that in like
Huh.
science class or something for some weird reason. And that's all I kept thinking is like, they're gonna chop off my foot. Like legit
Oh
was like
no.
so scared for my life. And my mom, she literally came, yanked it out, and she's like, go
Ugh.
clean it with water. And then
Wow.
she just put like the hydrogen peroxide like through the
Hmm.
hole.
Ooh, I hate it.
Yeah, it was so gross. And then I
Yeah.
just wore a band-aid over it for like
That's
God knows
so
how long.
weird. You must have like just missed every single nerve ending you have on your foot because I know there's probably
Yeah,
not too many. We're not
yeah.
doctors either, so
Mm-mm. I have a mole now in that like right on the bottom of my foot where it went
weird.
through. Yeah, it's just like a little little
I'm like, I wonder if
little
maybe that's a scar or something.
maybe. I'm like looking at it now. Like, yeah, it's weird.
What is it? If our fans would like to see said mole, you're gonna have to pay. No feet pics for
Gross.
free, guys.
Disgusting. And no, I am not showing it on this video
Video.
recording either if
Yeah.
you're listening on Spotify or
It's
Apple.
it's $1,000 per foot. That's it.
You know what? For that kind of money, I'll do it. Just kidding.
Like that's
It's
only for
actually in our
the
Patreon
right. It's like that's only
that
for
we
the
don't
bottom
have.
of the foot too. The top of the foot's extra.
It's like a cropped version is $50. If you want the whole thing, you're gonna have to pay.
Oh my God. We could do like it's one full picture, but we cut it up and then like we send a random part of the picture and it's like a puzzle. You got to put it together.
That'd be great.
What is
Interesting.
this business we've discovered, I guess? I don't
This
know.
foot business.
Foot business. Foot puzzles.
Oh my God.
Gross. You know, someone would
For
be
s
into that. Not to
for
kink shame,
sure.
but I myself am absolutely not a foot person.
No, I am like the complete opposite.
Oh yeah.
I do not like feet in general.
Mm-mm.
I don't like looking at my own feet, other people's feet. I don't like to see it on TV and pictures, nothing.
No, thank
Like, please
you.
don't show them to me. Don't send us
No.
feet pictures
We will
in our
block
DMs,
you.
please.
We will
Well,
block you.
just
We
like
will ban you. We will call your mother and tell her what you're doing.
I was gonna say, we'll just share it on the page,
Oh, actually,
on our
okay.
stories.
Who do we think we are? Nickelodeon?
God, no, thank you.
Bad, right? No, but no, I
Mm-mm.
have such a thing about feet getting injured too. Like, I don't know why that gets me so like lightheaded sometimes.
Ooh,
It
it's
get
like
like
what's it called?
Home Alone when they step on the nail. I cannot.
I forgot about that. I hadn't seen that movie. Like, I've seen it in bits and pieces here and there, but I hadn't sat down and watched the entire movie until like this last Christmas.
Oh wow. I've
Mm.
seen it like yeah, same, like once or twice Christmas time when it's on loop on like ABC Family or
Yeah,
whatever.
until you like see like little bits and pieces, but like sitting down
Hmm.
and watching it, I haven't. I remember watching it in like my
Hmm.
childhood home in my aunt's living room. So
You're like, I
yeah,
know I
it had been
did, but
yeah, it had been a while
hmm.
since I watched the whole thing. And the whole time I was
Same.
just like, why did we watch this? I mean, it's crazy. It's
It is
funny, but
crazy.
mm-mm.
Oh, but no, I had one of my sisters also stepped on a nail. I don't think it fully went through. Like she managed to like pull away, but like it still got in there like
Uh,
a little bit.
yeah.
I actually had the opposite. I wore my shoes and went to go get something from we had like a little storage shed, but it had a bunch of shit everywhere. And
Hmm.
I like tripped over something and I was about to fall, so I like reached and grabbed onto like the nearest thing, which was like a some plywood or something. And when I grabbed, there was a nail in it, so it got me right here a little bit. So that's what got me in the hand. I
But it
have
didn't go
no,
through.
it
It
did
just
not
like
go
punctured.
through. It punctured, but not all the way. That would have hurt probably because it's a
Woo!
hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. What even is this podcast? Right
I
now, what is
know.
this
Now it's
episode?
medical stories.
Yeah.
It's
Send
like,
us your injuries.
have
Did you
y'all
get
stepped on
punctured?
a nail? Let us know. What is it? Comment below on
Oh God.
YouTube.
Right?
Actually, Spotify apparently has comments now. I didn't know. So,
Oh wait, no, no, no. Yeah, we
yeah.
had seen a couple. I didn't know that. Freaking Jocelyn,
Oh,
my
she,
sisters, for you guys who don't know, I know she said, she's put a little comments here and there, and I was like,
that's
dude, I
funny.
can't even. She's like,
Yes.
wow, so amazing. Like, I hate you.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, like literally her comments were so corny. I was
That's so
dying. I'm
funny.
like, I can't even. She's like, yeah, I figured it out.
Oh my
You're the worst.
gosh. That's so funny. I love it. Yeah,
I'm like, it's fine.
leave
I'll take
your
it.
foot stories, foot injury stories in the comments. People are gonna like come to listen to the episode, see those comments and be very confused because
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, aren't they
You know
talking
what?
about cryptids?
You know what? If you're listening to this, go onto the Instagram post and just like put like the little foot emoji or a
Oh,
nail emoji. Is there a nail emoji?
is there a foot emoji?
There has to be a foot emoji.
Give me a checking
Yeah,
currently.
right? You're
Give me
like,
1 second.
hold please.
Is it elevator music? Foot. Yes, there
Um,
is.
yeah, gross.
I texted it to you, Lizzie. I sent you a
Yeah.
foot.
Oh, wonderful. I sent you a foot in the mail.
I sent you a foot in the mail. Just a severed foot. Don't ask whose it is or why I'm limping.
Oh, so gross. Oh, great. I just got it. Lovely. Oh, wonderful. Anyway, yeah, that's how we'll know who the real listeners are, or who's just like trolling through Instagram and
Oh
they're
my
gonna see the
gosh.
foot and be like, what? I don't
Why
understand
are they
what's
sending
going on here.
feet?
Yeah.
Do I
Just
want to know?
just comment feet in the picture below. Not the word feet, just like a little,
Emojis,
yeah,
please,
a little
not
foot
actual.
emoji.
Yeah, please.
Be
Thank you.
creative with it. Tell us a story through the pictures, through the emojis.
Oh, I love those. What is
Me
it?
too.
The little caterpillar playing the saxophone and stuff.
Yes.
Those are fun.
Hmm.
But
I love it.
anyways, okay, on to the last little bit. I promise. I'm almost I'm down to possible explanations of
Okay.
this mysterious jelly that you may or may not step in one day. In the Book of British Amphibians and Reptiles, apparently they're so specific. Apparently on page 138 of this book, author M. Smith explains that star jelly is most likely formed from the glands in the oviducts of frogs and toads. So that's fun. I guess it's like uh how like I am not even gonna I like there's no way to not make it sound dirty. Anyways, birds and mammal birds and mammals will eat the animals, but not the oviducts, which when they come into contact with moisture, swell and distort, leaving a vast pile of jelly-like substance, sometimes also referred to as otter jelly. So they're saying it could be that, but I will say there has been piles of jelly that are like 6 feet in diameter. So unless they ate like 50 frogs, I don't think that's like it could
Possible.
explain some, but not every single jelly appearance, you know?
Right.
And then in 1910, T. McKenney Hughes wondered why meteors were associated with star jelly by poets and ancient writers and observed that the jelly seemed to grow out from among the roots of grass. So I guess he just noticed that like some jelly seems to actually be seeping from the ground, not falling from the sky. So it could be like an
Hmm.
illusion thing, I guess. But
Yeah.
again, Does not explain all jellies, just some. Thomas Pennant in the 18th century believed the material to be something vomited up by birds or animals.
Ew.
Nostoc, a type of freshwater blue-green algae, forms spherical colonies made of filaments of cells in a gelatinous sheet. When on the ground, it is ordinarily not seen, but after rainfall, it swells up into a conspicuous jelly-like mass, which is sometimes called star jelly. So he's saying it's algae
Hmm.
or
Um,
vomit.
even still, it would take a lot of birds
hmm
to vomit that amount.
And a lot of algae. Plus, I feel like every other time it's been tested and they're like, we don't know what it is. I feel like if it was algae, they'd be like, oh, it's like
That's algae.
it's algae.
Yeah,
Or it's bird vomit. I would imagine bird vomit might be able to be
tested.
tested as well, but who
Right.
knows? Because a lot of
Hmm.
these were actually fairly like 70s and forward, so those at least could have been identified.
I
But
wonder if
anyways,
they keep like a sample of this like weird material like in the
right?
government vault or something.
I would think they would, but who
It's like
knows?
unknown substance 5431110 or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I could see them totally having a vault like that, like airtight little pockets of stuff or something.
Hmm.
And then the last part I have is the Massachusetts Department of Environment Quality Engineering examined the starfall which dropped on North Reading, but the only results were that the material was non-toxic. So you
Hmm.
can eat it, I guess. Don't,
Ew.
but you could. One scientific speculation has pointed towards frog spawn again, which has been vomited up by amphibian eating creatures. So they're saying again with the fish, with the frog eggs, but something ate it but then threw it up. So it's kind of a
Hmm.
combination of the theories now. That's why it's in like a tree branch or something.
I
Though
see.
no frog spawn has ever approached the size of some reported cases of star jelly. That's my biggest thing. All these explanations don't account for like the 4 foot, 6 foot piles of slime.
Yeah, and also like they found it on freaking what was it? The gas pump, right?
Yeah, like it's
So
just on random things.
yeah, like if it was yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And then, oh, we were saying, why did nobody call it star snot? The German did.
Oh.
Sternenrotz or star snot, and meteor gelert or meteorite jelly are known to refer to more or less digested frog spawn vomited by predators. I guess that's what the Germans are saying it is. Full stop.
Mm. Hmm.
Um, but that being said, this is quite easy to identify by its smell and found in winter and early spring near frog spawning sites. So you'd have
Okay.
to be near an area where there's a bunch of frogs and during that time of year. Scientists commissioned by the National Geographic Society have carried out tests on samples found in the United States, but have failed to find any DNA in the material. Slime molds are possible causes, appearing suddenly, exhibiting a very gelatinous appearance at first, and later changing to a dust-like form, which is dispersed by rain or wind. And that's pretty much all I've got for this. The colors range from white to pink to purple, yellow, orange, brown. There's all the colors in the world, but that's just them saying what colors people have seen. But yeah,
Yeah.
so it's just like slime molds, which I don't know what exactly slime molds are.
Yeah.
So that doesn't explain much to me either. If you know what a
Oh boy.
slime mold is, I guess let me know.
Yeah, right?
But yeah, that is star jelly. It's gross and you may step on it one day. Have fun.
It's disgusting, but fascinating.
It's fascinating. It is really
Yeah.
weird. Like just this jelly stuff appearing out of nowhere. I
Yeah.
don't like it.
Yeah, like I mentioned, I want to touch it. I want
Mm-hmm.
to see it. I think
Right.
I want to see it more than anything. I just
Yeah.
want to, yeah, I just want to touch it.
Dude, if like I'd be so mystified if like a 6 foot pile of stuff just appeared on someone's lawn one day. That'd be
Yeah,
weird.
You just like walk up to your car and there it is, just on the roof of your car.
Oh,
It's
that
like,
would
where did this
suck.
come from? Yeah, it would suck a little bit, but
I feel
it's
like
fine. Just go through a little drive-through car
car
wash and
wash.
then
Yeah,
maybe
but
it'll turn
like,
into like purple whipped jelly stuff.
oh, ew. No, I'm just thinking like it's so big it like went over and like you can't even open your car door or it's gonna
Oh
fall
no, that would
in.
suck.
So then I'm just like, ugh, get like I'd have to hose it off then and there
Yeah.
probably. I'd take hella pictures, but
Oh
like
yeah, for sure.
what the fuck?
You're
Of
like,
all
check this
days.
out, dude.
Like, yeah, I'm not coming into work today. My car got slimed.
May I be excused?
Right. May I be excused? I've been turned into a cow. Can I go home?
Exactly.
But yeah, so it's just like, okay. It's such a cute name for it. That's why I clicked. I'm like, oh my God, star jelly, how precious. And I'm like, how disgusting.
Yeah, seriously.
Ugh.
Wow, that is interesting. I am in like the total opposite of like this completely.
Right. You're
Um,
you went actual cryptid basically.
yes. And you know what? I had a bunch of so I wasn't sure what I was gonna choose. I barely decided last night.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I had probably like 10 different options and they were all Caribbean folklore. So I thought it was
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
there's a lot of stuff going on over there.
Yes.
But then this is the one that kept coming up the most.
Um,
Um, so I just ended up going with it.
yeah.
Alrighty. So I am doing I didn't even tell you what the name was, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I'm gonna bring this over this way.
But yeah,
So I
oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
No, I almost completely changed into an actual cryptid because I found a TikTok video about a thing and they're like, "Oh, honey, I already forgot what it's called, but it's like a Mexican cryptid situation."
Ooh,
So I'm like, I'll save that for another day.
yes. All right. Okay. So I'm doing La Diablesse or also uh
Mm.
La Jablesse.
Mm.
So yeah, you'll see it both different ways. And according to folklore, she was an enslaved African woman who made a deal with the devil to give her soul
Mm.
to him, um, becoming a demon in exchange for eternal beauty.
Ooh.
In other like lore, it says that she did it to free herself from the enslavement. So either or, I would think it was that one. I don't think she would
Mm.
chosen to become this thing, which you will hear about right now. So, when people see her, they think she is, or sorry, I should rephrase. When men see her,
Mm.
she is this beautiful woman with like a curvy figure, like a beautiful dress, a beautiful, like she wears this huge hat. And yeah, everyone's like, oh, we were attracted to her because she was beautiful, but you never see her face. So I'm like,
Hmm.
what really is beauty according
She
to
had a
you?
banging body, apparently. That's all I've
Basically,
got.
exactly. So her hideous face, according to
Oh,
Wikipedia, yeah, hideous face.
rude.
That's what I said. She's over here like, so her hideous face is hidden by a large brimmed hat, and her long dress hides the fact that one leg ends in a cow's hoof.
Hmm.
She walks with one foot on the road, and her cow hoof is in the grass on the side of the road. So you'll always see her like off to the side of the road.
Hmm.
She smells distinctly of a mix of fine perfume and
Hmm.
deadly decay.
Ooh, not a great combo.
Yeah.
Her and Star
Uh,
Jelly have that in common, I guess. Like stinky.
right, Melly. Um, she can cast spells on her unsuspecting male victims, and then will lead them into the forest. So when they get to the forest, she'll disappear, and then they're
Hmm.
stuck there, just wandering around until they either fall off a cliff, off into a ravine or a river, or they'll get eaten by like a wild animal and die.
Wow.
So basically, she's just gonna lead you to your death.
Good to know.
Um, to break the spell, you must turn your clothing inside out, light
Hmm.
a sacred candle, and walk home backward, away from the last area in which she was spotted.
Damn, so you really got to carry a candle everywhere you go, I
Yes,
guess.
exactly. And that's what I was about to say too. It's like, okay, like how would you have all these things? And also, if you're already under the spell, how do you know? Like, how are you so self-aware? Like, I need to break this curse before I'm
Hmm.
led into the forest.
Yeah,
I don't
like,
know. Or maybe it's like a
hmm.
slow thing. Like
Hmm.
maybe it's more so for people who are maybe if they're drunk or incapacitated where
Hmm.
they're already like, you know,
Just blindly
fuzzy.
like, oh, look at that pretty lady. I'm gonna go follow her.
Yeah. Like why? Yeah.
I
Anyways,
don't
there's a
know.
lot of questions. But yeah, that's all her history, super short. So I found some stories that I'm gonna share.
All right.
Yeah, and all of these are Reddit stories. I actually I found the first one through like a website who like linked their Reddit. So they just like
Mm.
took from Reddit and posted it on their website. So I'm like, oh, perfect. And then I just stayed on Reddit and was going through like all of the different stories.
Nice.
But the first one is from Reddit user Coconut Pie 1998.
Cute.
So this happened in Trinidad in the 80s. My uncle was living in the house I live in presently, which is my grandfather's house that my mother inherited. Oh, hold on.
Hmm.
That was weird.
Mm.
My screen just went black. I'm like, hello.
Ooh.
Okay. In those days, it was my grandparents and their 8 children. My uncle was one of the older siblings and worked late night shifts, so he would return home between the hours of 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. Now, my street then wasn't as developed as it is now. There was a lot of bush and forested area and a few houses scattered in between. My house is about a quarter mile in, and the road wasn't paved at the time. It was more of a track than a road. One night when my uncle returned home from one of his night shifts, he saw a woman in the distance walking down the street. From the look of her clothing, he assumed that it was my senile great grandmother.
No, no.
I'm like, poor lady.
Right? What happened to her
She
banging bod?
right? She had a few instances where she would wander off and reach far places, so initially my uncle thought it was her. He saw her from her familiar dress and the white shawl she had always draped over her head, and he could make out pieces of the tattoos that she had on her arms.
Mm.
He thought it was strange. It was the latest he's ever seen her outside. Her house was at least 10 minutes away from ours. He called out a couple times, but she didn't turn around. She kept walking. This time, my uncle decided to follow her and get her back home. As he neared her, he realized something weird. He kept calling out to her, but she didn't turn around. When he looked down, he saw that my great grandmother had a cow hoof where her foot should have been. He was really close to her now, but as soon as he noticed that about the woman, she stopped dead in her tracks. My uncle, in sheer terror, turned around and said he never ran so fast in his entire life. He raced home. Since that incident, he always had my grandfather wait for him until he eventually left that job.
Mm.
So there's a couple things that I thought was like super interesting, which like they never mentioned that she's like a shapeshifter,
Hmm.
but it kind of implies that here. Like,
Yeah, like she uses tricks to get people to follow her or
yeah,
something.
yeah. Because I'm like, and later I think there's like another story and it's like a girl, I'm assuming. So I'm like, I don't think it's particularly just looking for men. I think, I mean, obviously it'll lure men, but anyone
Mm.
susceptible to this. Um, but yeah, I was like, dang, the fact that like like she even had tattoos,
Yeah,
like
like matching
she,
ones, I guess.
like she really took on the grandmother's
Yeah.
appearance just to lure him towards her. But I mean, in this case, he just got off work, so he was, I'm assuming,
Hmm.
sober. So I think that's why he was able to escape. I think
Yeah.
any other person who was like really,
Hmm.
hypnotized by her or whatever would have been like, yeah,
Yeah.
not in a good place.
Plus, maybe she thought she could take advantage. She's like, oh, he's coming back from work. He's probably really tired. He's gonna be worried about his
Hmm.
grandma. Like she lined it up. Which what a badass grandma with her tattoos and everything.
Right? That was my first thought too. I was like, Grandma, okay, with her tattoos and
With
everything.
with
All
her
right.
full sleeves on both arms.
Imagine.
That'd be
but a
crazy.
cow hoof.
But a cow hoof.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay.
Yes, we're on
Uh,
to story number two, I believe.
yes. So this also from Reddit is from Serena or Sirena underscore C's. Yeah, Sirena underscore C's. In the 1920s, my grandmother and her siblings used to spend part of August holidays in Tobago at an old house with their cousins and friends. After dark, they could hear the sounds of horse hooves outside, hammers clanging on metal, and voices speaking in a language that was not English, Spanish, or French. My
Hmm.
father remembers one of his uncles sounding really afraid when telling the story.
Hmm.
So that was it. I don't know, maybe La Diablesse or La Diablesse was just chilling inside her home. I
Hmm.
don't know. Maybe it was somebody else, but she was always like, yeah, the just the
Hmm.
retelling of the story, the one of the uncles always like seemed
Yeah.
afraid talking about it.
She almost
Um,
gives La Llorona with the way everyone has a story about her and she's just kind of hanging out.
yeah, yeah, very much reminded me of her.
Hmm.
And she came up a lot, La Llorona came up a lot when I was researching her, where people
Interesting.
were like, "Oh, like I this reminds me of her." Like,
Hmm.
it's like their version of her kind of, but not really.
Interesting. Yeah.
Um, And it is kind of like just a cautionary tale, which I'll get to after. But
Hmm.
yeah, very much gives like, stranger danger. Okay, the next story I have is from uh Sheresh. I don't know. It's Chereche. Um, so part of it reminds me of like she mentions like the is it on this one? Actually, this one might not be about her at all. I don't
Hmm.
remember. I know there was one story I came across that was interesting, and this was more like a regional, like like they're in like within the Caribbeans. But some of the stories that she had to tell was like super interesting. So this person is
Hmm.
like super sensitive to the like to spirits and the paranormal, I'm assuming
Oh,
because of like the things that happened to her. And I just thought the story was interesting, so I'm gonna include it.
bonus.
Okay. Yeah, a little bonus story. Because there really wasn't a lot. I'm sure
Hmm.
there's like um almost all the stories that I heard about her were like exactly the same, and I don't want to repeat the exact same story.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm just gonna include this person's, and like I said, this one is the one I think is a girl, but I'm not sure. Okay. Uh there was a colonial building in my school compound. I had to go in there for whatever reasons. I entered at 11:15. I know because I had to keep track of time to not mix. Oh my God, I cannot English right now. I entered at 11:15. I know because I had to keep track of time to not miss next period. God, hardest sentence to ever read. I entered through the bottom side door and not through the front entrance. The building was completely different, and when I turned to leave, I couldn't find the door I had entered from. Oh, this is why I included it, actually. Tell me if this reminds you of something.
Yeah, I was already gonna say.
The building was completely different, and when I turned to leave, I couldn't find the door I had entered from. I walked around the building. It was different, newer, more old-fashioned,
Hmm.
which I don't understand. Newer, but more old-fashioned. So
Hmm.
maybe old-fashioned in style, but new.
Yeah, like
Or new looking.
new looking, but like the style is older. Yeah.
Yeah. And I spent what felt like an hour just looking for one of the people who should have been there, trying to leave, but only coming into rooms that I knew should be empty, but were filled with furniture, etc.
Hmm.
I eventually found myself in a kitchen type area and just started to panic because I thought I had come back to the room I had started off in. But nope, I heard humming. Looking out the window, I saw a shadow. Window was in like quotes. So maybe it
Hmm.
wasn't a window, or maybe it was just something that looked like a window but wasn't.
Hmm.
Um, Turned, and that shadow was now in the kitchen as a woman dressed in old-fashioned clothes. She was very kind and asked me if I was one of the girls, and lost. I told her yes. She smiled, pointed to the right, and told me to run along through there and not be late for class. I looked and didn't see a door, but rather a curtain and said, okay. Thanked her and walked through the curtain and found myself outside of the building facing it once again. Checked my watch. It was 11:17.
Hmm.
Noped the fuck out, and it took me maybe a year before I ever went back into that building myself.
Wow.
So only 2 minutes went by, but she felt like she had been in there for an hour.
That's
Um,
creepy.
yeah, and this one, like I said, it was like in like within the Caribbean like
Hmm.
region. Um, but I reminded me of the back rooms.
She just went
And
in
I
there
was
by
like,
accident.
yeah, like totally by accident. A door that's not a door, or a door that should be a
Hmm.
door but doesn't look like it, whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I'm like, how funny. I wasn't looking for it, but accidentally got a little story of the back rooms.
Nice.
And this is still the same Reddit user. There was a day, I don't know what she means here. There was a day in Form 4, which I don't know
Oh,
what that
I
means.
think that would be like their grade, I would assume. Like maybe they just use a different system because I know like the British are like, oh, I'm
Hmm,
in grade 3 or whatever. So I assume maybe it's one of
interesting.
those.
It might be. I mean, she never tells me, she never told me.
She told
She
you
never
personally.
mentioned her age, so it could be.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, let's
I
just say that
guess
that's what she
any
means.
any Caribbeans out there, if you can explain.
Yeah. There was a day in Form 4 when things were, let me just say, very bad mentally. My parents were pretty lax about me saying I needed a day off from school for whatever reason, and I had already okayed it with them to stay home that day. That would not have been a good idea. I was in my bedroom while they were downstairs preparing to leave. A fully physically man in red pants and yellow top walked
Oh.
into my bedroom and very calmly and warmly told me to go to school. Nothing mattered. Just go to school.
Hmm.
I was not scared or anything and just agreed. Called out to my parents, never mind, threw on my uniform and went to go with them. Told myself it didn't matter. I would have 2-ish hours after school. For what? I don't know.
Yeah.
Got got home around 2:45-ish and saw the man again, telling me to just stay downstairs. I did, just dropped my book bag by the door and sat in the armchair right there. My parents got home not 5 minutes later. Well, my dad dropped my mom off and went back to work. The man watched me, told me I would be fine now and that I'd see him again the next time I needed him and disappeared.
Hmm.
My mom entered the house, looked at me, asked what was wrong, and I broke down. I vaguely remember her saying thank you at some point. Years later, I found out that the same man had appeared to her at work roughly an hour before and told her she needed to go home and go home now. Back then, there was no way for her to call my dad to come get her, so she asked a colleague to drop her off on the main road and she would travel home from there. My dad passed on the road not 30 seconds after she got on the road, told her he just had a feeling he should take a break from work and take a
Hmm.
little drive, and absent-mindedly came that way. Turns out that this man is not a stranger. My mom has been seeing him off and on since she got our house. My mom has always been spiritual and from birth has seen things, which is why she wasn't afraid when in the first few weeks she realized she was sharing a house with this man. She
Hmm.
realized he was harmless, so left him be, and eventually realized he only showed himself to her for reasons. When my dad first came into the picture, he approved and told her she'd see less of him now and that he was sure she was okay. But she's seen him off and on through the years. My dad knew of him and vaguely heard him at times, but met him a day. I was a toddler playing in the living room with the sliding doors open. Mom was in the back washing, and my dad was back and forth. He was in the kitchen when he said this man in red and yellow ran into the kitchen yelling at him to get me now in all caps. He couldn't distract it anymore. My dad didn't
Ugh.
even question it. Yeah, ran out to the kitchen and saw a big snake, can't remember
Oh.
the type, butting its head into the glass door, but only a few inches away from where it would clear the glass and enter the room where I was playing. He got me and dispatched the snake. The man stayed afterwards, told my mom that he didn't think she or my dad would see him again for a while, but that he's around. I can see things, but by large, I choose not to see them, if that makes sense. But sometimes
Mm.
I can't help them, and that's when things get a bit dot 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 interesting. So yeah, I this story was super
Damn, that girl
interesting
needs to write
for
a
sure.
book. I was into it.
Right? Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, I have to include this. Like, I know she
Hmm.
mentioned a little bit of the backrooms, I'm assuming, and this lady who maybe isn't La
Hmm.
Joblesse, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what that lady was, but I'm assuming that's why she ended up in that like thread of La
Hmm.
Joblesse. Um, but yeah, I thought it was super
Yeah.
interesting.
I wonder if the man is actually like the spirit of the house because I know that they say like if you're good to the home and you talk to the home, it will protect you. So like I wonder if it was
Hmm.
like one of those situations where it's the house itself, you know?
Right. I don't know, but every time we talk about like even last night and even right now, I have full on goosebumps, like full body.
Mhm.
I keep getting waves of it. So I don't know why. It's not like it's scary or anything, but it's just I keep getting full body chills talking about this story. Super weird.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I was like, was it maybe the first homeowner? Was it
Mhm.
maybe a relative that they don't even know of that's always just been with the mom
Mhm.
and didn't appear until she had her own home?
Yeah.
Um, who knows? Yeah. But yeah, that's it for my notes. Oh, actually, that's a lie.
Surprise.
Um, surprise. It's literally just like the significance of the legend.
Mm.
So the legend of La Diablesse or La Diablesse has been passed down through the generations of Caribbean people, and it continues to be an essential part of their cultural heritage. It serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of succumbing to temptation and reminds
Mm.
people to be cautious, especially when dealing with strangers. So, yeah,
Yeah.
point of the story, don't talk to strangers. But in this case, if the stranger is nice to you, then let him talk to you and protect you.
Well, I mean, he's practically their roommate, so.
At this point, yeah, I mean, every one of them has seen him in
Hmm.
like little bits and pieces here and there. Um, but what I'm curious about was Earl stayed home from school, or like why
Mm.
she, actually, no. Why he didn't want her to stay home from school.
Yeah, that
Because
was
she
very
never
strange.
says, she says that she started crying, but she never says why. Like, I don't know. That was like
Yeah.
the one thing that was bugging me the whole
Yeah,
time.
I
I'm like,
was waiting
but
for
what was the
something to
thing?
happen, or like,
Yeah.
oh, it turns out our house got broken into, or like
Yeah. Or
uh
like
a snake
something.
got in, or like something,
Yeah.
right?
She never mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was her name?
Mm-hmm.
Chereshi. I don't know. Chereshi.
It's probably one of those
Cher,
like
Cheresh. I don't know. Cheret, Cheret.
maybe it was one of those someone would have harmed her, like someone would have noticed walking by that she was home alone, but she wasn't home.
Oh.
And then she got home, so but like her mom and her parents came home right after. So it's like
Ooh.
like maybe there was someone looking and they're just like, "Oh." And
Oh
then
my God.
like that determined
Whoa.
what happened.
Sorry. A major glitch just happened like in the freaking audio and I just heard a screech. Like you'll even see like a big line in the audio.
Ew.
Yeah. Wow. Shit.
That gave me goosebumps, and I don't get goosebumps from this stuff. So and I don't have my EMF on, so I don't know.
Oh, but I meant to tell you earlier in the first break, I was gonna text you and be
Hmm.
like, oh, I forgot to bring out the EMF. That was scary. That
Ew. We'll see
did
if
I
it
jump?
we'll see if it caught on the recording then, because that means it was Zoom, right?
Yeah.
Because I didn't hear anything on my end, so I assume my audio glitched into yours weirdly.
Yeah, because I mean,
Huh.
what I wonder what the screech was on the recording because it's not like the mic could have picked up what I'm hearing,
Yeah.
but it was on the thing. So I
Huh.
don't know what that was.
It might not show
Anyway,
up then, because I'm recording through my end, not yours. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? That's
Yeah.
weird. Ew.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back and listen to that. That line might have just been me freaking out, but either way.
Oh, that's creepy. Oh, and right
Yeah.
after we are talking about like someone possibly hurting,
Something
yeah, that's not good.
gross. I was literally gonna say maybe it was just something like evil. Like
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, it must have been something
Interesting.
evil. I don't know.
I at that point, dude. Eesh.
So creepy. I like how none of the stories I had were creepy. Maybe like the first one, but
Oh my gosh.
suddenly we're talking about like possible things, and it's like,
Hmm. As
don't
a
talk about
side
this
note,
anymore.
right? No, one more thing. You said evil. My fucking, what is that? My right ear started ringing like sharply.
Ooh,
And I just mentioned it to you and it stopped. So it's just like, okay. So I guess it
interesting.
was. That's all I gotta say.
Hmm. Y'all tell us what your thoughts are. Was it evil? Is it just a random glitch? We
Every
will never
villain is
know.
lemons. Who knows?
It took me like 2 seconds to register that, and I'm like, oh my God.
We gotta lighten the mood somehow.
Yeah, seriously. Ah, God. What a weird um combination of stories we have here today. We are
Hmm.
all over the place in this episode.
Dude, honestly, I always do this though. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, let's do XYZ topic. And then I find something that's like semi adjacent, and I'm just like, that one.
Yeah.
It's funny.
You're like, nope, just kidding. Let me
Right.
veer right completely.
Honestly.
But that was interesting. That was really great. And I'm gonna go look up more pictures of the goop, of the star jelly,
The goop.
of the star snot, the goop.
Gross. Lovely
So
name it
gross.
has.
I know. And if like I said, I came across almost the same repetitive stories for La Diablesse. So if anybody
Mm.
has any of their own stories, like I'd
Hmm.
be really interested to know. Email us or DM us your
For
stories.
sure. Or if you've
Mhm.
encountered star jelly, let us know. Send us a picture of it if
Oh
you took
yeah.
it. Let us know if you poked it or stepped in it.
Did you try to eat the non-toxic goo?
Oh no, don't try to eat the non-toxic goo.
No. But if you did, was it worth it?
Did it taste good? Was it like Jello?
Ugh. I kind of want to know, but I don't want to know. And
Gross.
I don't want to see it, but I do want to see it.
That
Who
texture.
knows?
Ugh.
Yeah. It's something. I'm I'm trying to visualize it, but I'm like, you said it got up to like 6 feet?
Hmm.
It's like a full grown man right there of
Hmm.
goop.
Yeah, it's just like a big,
Hmm.
gigantic puddle of it.
Hmm.
Just cannonball in, see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah. I'm gonna look for videos. I'm gonna look for pictures. I'm curious. I need to see it.
Hmm. Gross.
When's the next meteor? Or yeah, meteor shower? You said it was meteor showers?
Meteor showers are just meteors in general.
Hmm.
No clue.
Okay. Interesting. Curiouser and curiouser. All right. Well, let's wrap up this video.
All right.
If you wanna tell the listeners
Yes.
where to find us, where to reach us.
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds good.
But yeah, so Paranormal Plunge Pod on Instagram and TikTok, Paranormal Plunge at Gmail. I believe it's also Paranormal Plunge on YouTube as well. We have video episodes, you guys.
Like this one, if you're listening on Spotify or
Hmm.
Apple Podcasts, or for those random people who are listening
What is
on
other?
website or other, please tell us what other
Yeah.
is.
Our metrics, it's like, oh, Spotify, Apple, and then it just goes other. And we're like, what does other mean? Where are they
Yeah,
accessing this? They're like on the AOL chat room and found a link and they're listening through there. I don't know.
who knows? I'm curious. I wonder if it's like if you go through like Instagram and click the link and listen through,
Oh, maybe. That's a very chaotic
it
way to
might.
listen to the episode, though.
Maybe they're driving, had their notifications on, clicked on
Hmm.
it, clicked on the thingamajig on the link,
That's true.
and just kept on driving, listening, you know? Who knows?
Interesting. Yeah.
Do you listen to us on your morning commutes?
I know James does on his drives
Yeah.
to or coming home from work.
He is the other. Just can imagine.
He is the other.
He is the other. I don't know, but interesting. Let us know.
Hmm. But yeah, that's pretty much it, right?
Do we have, that's it, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my
Okay.
awkward silence.
It's like awkward silence. Okay, bye.
Well, we'll see you in the next one,
All
guys.
right.
Bye.
Bye.